I know for a fact that for many small businesses, locally owned businesses, it's really hard to stay organized and find the right tools to help you organize. So this next speaker is going to help us with that problem.
Building spirituality, family, health, and business. This is the Giant Builders with Lois Wyant.
Hello, Giant Builders. Here we are again. So excited to be with you. And today's guest is Taina, and she is going to share with us some system management processes, which if your business is going to be successful, you need systems. So this is going to be great information. So how are you today?
I'm great. So excited to be on the show. Thanks for inviting me.
Well, thank you. Can you tell our listeners a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so I'm Taina from Helsinki, Finland, and I'm a Notion consultant specialized in helping coaches, consultants, and other service-based entrepreneurs get organized and systemize their business. My background is in the corporate world and startup world, where I used to work for a little bit over a decade, helping companies structure their work and structure their processes in a way that allows them to run things in a streamlined manner. And then, a couple of years ago, I decided to become an entrepreneur myself. And ever since that, I've been figuring out ways to bring that experience and those best practices from the corporate world into helping small businesses succeed. And that's what I love to do today. In my personal life, I'm a mother of two small kids. I have a toddler and a baby at home, and they are keeping me quite busy. But every once in a while, I also find some time to do some yoga. So that's also very close to my heart.
Okay. Well, enjoy those years. I know it's tough time frames, but you'll miss them.
Goes fast.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
So, well, tell me, why is building a management system important to a business?
Sure. Thank you. Yeah. So any business owner out there listening probably knows the dilemma of having to wear so many hats, having to be responsible in very, very many different areas at the same time. And also that means that there's usually always much more things to do than there is time for. So succeeding as a business owner, succeeding in really building your dream business requires you to be very good at prioritizing how to use your time. And systems are really a key to keeping your stuff organized and streamlined, because that way you're then able to focus on the right things. And when you have the time to work on them, you're able to execute them as efficiently as possible. So really, systems is in the core in making it as an entrepreneur. And still, unfortunately, in my daily life, I meet countless entrepreneurs who are super messy. They don't have it all figured out. It doesn't have to be perfect, but still, if all your information, your tasks, your work is all over the place, it can really become a bottleneck for growing your business, especially as you start bringing some team members in and try to scale in that way. So really, systems are such a key thing to put in place early on as a business owner.
And you may see it as messy, but us as business owners see it as unorganized, organized.
Yeah. Of course, you always need to find the right level of structure and organization for your needs, but there are always needs to be at least something.
So what are some misconceptions that business owners have about systems?
Yeah, well, I could explain about so many, but let me highlight a few things I run into quite often. So first of all, something that's maybe behind a lot of the messiness I see out there is this misconception that in order to maximize your growth, you need to move really fast and not worry about being messy and breaking things and such. There's some truth to it for sure. You don't need to have things perfectly organized, and you don't need to figure out all your systems from the beginning. But still, you don't want to be too fast in the sense that you don't start putting in those basic essential systems for the most important things from early on, such as managing your tasks or managing your leads or managing your clients, because that way it's really going to eventually bite you in the back. So that's one misconception. Maybe another one I run into quite often is that even if the business owners might understand that it's really important to find ways to create those systems to keep themselves organized, they might get kind of paralyzed when they realize that there are all these hundreds and thousands and I'm not even able to count how many different tools for all the different purposes. So they might get stuck with trying to figure out what is the best tool to use for this and what should I put in place here. And then that becomes a bottleneck for making any progress, systemizing your business. But something I always want to remind, especially the small business owners, is that the tools you choose to organize your business don't have to be all the specialized tool for every single use case, but you can take some of these work management or project management tools that are and use them for organizing different aspects of your business in the same place without having to invest in 100 different tools. So some of these simple to use general purpose tools can be used as the basis for setting up a lot of your systems.
Tell me about this Notion tool. Like, what are some ways that it helps us to get organized? What parts of our business does it organize?
Of course. Yeah. So for those of you who have not heard about Notion at all before, because it's still fairly new in the market, Notion is a tool that's in some ways competing with the household names like Trello, Asana, ClickUp, or Monday. And it's a work management tools. So what it allows is organizing pretty much any kind of information and work in one place. So it can be used to replace a lot of different tools to bring all your core systems into one centralized place. And what Notion then allows you to do more specifically is set up things such as managing your tasks, managing your projects, building a lead tracker for tracking your sales process, or, for example, a CRM to manage the clients you're working with and the status of the different projects you have going on. So things like that you can start bringing into one place. And something quite exciting about Notion is that it has been growing really, really fast this year that just ended. So I read some research that it was actually the fastest growing app in 2022. So really, if you haven't heard about it yet, it's definitely one to check out.
Well, how does someone get started with it?
Well, to get started with Notion, there are many different ways to go about it. If you want to do it all yourself, you could go into YouTube or Google and search something Notion related, and you will find hundreds and thousands of tutorials and videos explaining how to use Notion and also how to set things up. So if you have the possibility of investing some of your time, you could learn it all yourself and set it up from scratch to run your business the way you want it to. But unfortunately, for many of the business owners out there, that's not a possibility if you're super busy and you need to actually get some other stuff done. So then something that can be quite helpful is all these free templates out there. Notion has a template library of their own where they offer all sorts of templates for different purposes. And then just a quick Googling will let you find a lot more all over the web. So those can be really useful in setting up something quick, and usually they don't cost very much or might be even free. The downside of using these templates is that they have obviously not been designed exactly for your business, so you might find some things not working exactly as you would like them to, or some different templates not really talking with each other, causing some trouble with your systems. So then the third option, which obviously requires a little bit more monetary investment, is hiring a consultant to help design and implement the perfect management system for your business. So in that case, you can save the time of learning Notion yourself, but still be able to get exactly those things implemented that your business needs. So those are essentially the three main options: doing it yourself, using templates, or hiring a consultant.
Okay. So walk me through a business process as far as, let's say, I don't know, let's choose a business. Let's say I'm a HVAC company. So walk me through as to like what Notion would do to help me if I had an HVAC company. Do you know what HVAC is?
Yeah, I think I have a good idea.
Heating and air conditioning. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, exactly.
I'm sorry. I thought well, there could be a country differences there.
that might be, and it's so super cold in Finland that you don't need so much of that during the winter time. But anyways, yeah. So, well, to summarize it all, an HVAC company could organize almost any aspects of managing their business on top of a tool like Notion. So if I had a client like that talk with me right now, what I would do would first to have an audit with them to really understand like what are the ways they operate on a day-to-day basis, what are the key bottlenecks in running their business and their team efficiently, and what are the expectations they have in terms of how they would like to streamline things, how they would like to be better organized. And then based on that, we would identify certain areas of their business to prioritize in structuring and systemizing on this tool. So some examples I could think of for that kind of company might be organizing their client information so that they would know exactly who are the companies or people that they have served in the past, and what is their contact information, other relevant information about those clients, so that it's easy for them to manage all the ongoing projects and also to understand what they might be upselling in the future. Also, a company doing HVAC services might also have some marketing efforts that are key to acquiring new clients. So we might think about, for example, how to organize all the planning of their social media content or marketing campaigns they're running elsewhere, so that all of that happens in a timely manner and none of the information, none of the content created gets lost. I'm going to throw in another example still. They might have a team of, say, 10 people doing the installations, doing the marketing, whatever goes into that business. So managing all that HR information, the people in their team, the contracts they have, the hiring processes, things like that, that could also be organized on top of Notion. But really, it can be very different from one service to another, and it's always case specific, like what is the priority for a certain business owner. But usually if it's some kind of work or if it's some kind of information, we can find ways to organize that on top of Notion.
Oh, that sounds great. So is there any other software one would need if they had Notion?
You mean other software?
Yeah, like if I have Notion, do I still need like QuickBooks?
Yes. There will always be some very specialized parts of your workflow, in a sense, where you might need some specialized tools, such as sending an email. Notion is not Outlook or Gmail. So when you're doing a very specific task, such as signing a contract or sending an email or maybe receiving money for an invoice, for those specific things, you might still need some other tools. But then when it comes to managing the process of invoicing your customers or managing the tasks and processes related to onboarding those clients and remembering to do all those steps, sending that email and preparing that invoice and sending that contract and whatnot, those are all prime candidates for things that you can still organize on Notion, and then maybe link out to those specific softwares that you might need for a specific task along the way.
Okay, great. All right. Well, I will have your contact information below. Any closing thoughts?
Yeah, well, if anyone in the audience feels like maybe there is something I would need to do about improving my systems and getting better organized to be able to scale effectively as a business owner, I would love to offer you a free systems audit session with me, where we sit down for 1 hour to really go through what are the areas in your business which would most benefit from organizing and streamlining, and giving you the concrete picture of what it might look like on Notion and the steps to take you there. I'd love to invite you to such call with me, and you can find the booking link at tainapereenniemi.com/systems audit. I'm sure
Which we'll have
Louis
that link
can
below
put it
because
in
we'll
the show
never figure out
notes.
how to spell her last name.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. Sorry about that.
All right. Well, thank you so much. That was great information. And I know that especially small businesses, we kind of feel like we're out in the dark because there's just so many things that we want to happen, but just it's too difficult. And so many times it ends up that we end up with like 3 or 4 different programs that makes it more difficult to organize, because then you have to like remember which program to go in. So this sounds like a really great alternative, especially for businesses that are small and maybe not able to like put the big mega system together. So I appreciate
exactly. Thanks so much. It was such a pleasure talking to you.
Well, thank you. All right, Giant Builders, we'll see you next time.
Thank you for listening. This has been The Giant Builders with Lois Wyant.